Alright, so chat, we are continuing our little read through, our little breakdown read through, I'm calling it, okay? We got my phone ran out of storage space, so now I gotta read it here. This ancient book. Last we saw episode my microphone's here, I forgot him. Okay, last we saw episode introduction, so now we're gonna have slightly better quality pages. Looks like the water is dissipating, the water drenches, so I will hopefully be able to read it a little bit better. So, and also better microphone, obviously. So, chapter 1. I have no idea what's going to happen. This is a really old story. So far, I have predicted COVID in a way. The following was copied from Lydia's Chronicles, Mishap 1527. Oh, Lila's Chronicles, okay. Oh, that's like in universe, so I'm not sure. Oh, I should probably move this here. You guys can't read that anyways. Okay. An annoying noise whirred in the air as if stuck spinning in an endless circle of torment. A man, obviously angry, stomped through the metal halls as the annoying sound blasted and red lights spun on the ceiling. The man looked as annoyed as ever. His sun-tinted brown hair was all mangled, and his eyes, which were rare shade of light brown, both made it look like he had just been woken up. And what? Did I just read it wrong? Or did I write it wrong? That's the problem. I don't know which one it was. His clothing also looked somewhat like PJs, but just a little more formal-ish looking. I'm so good a writer. The man stomped further down the hall, and with one push swung the door he was aiming towards almost off his hinges. Its hinges, I mean. I'm just bad at reading, apparently. Can somebody tell me why the alarms are going off? The man shouted into the room with 7 to 10 people inside. Most looked like scientists, while 2 were heavily armored soldiers holding more modern shotguns loosely in both hands. The scientists at the holographic screens each quickly made themselves looking as busy as possible, leaving the single scientist in the center of the room to answer the man's demand. Dang. That's one heck of a run-on sentence, brother. Anyways, oh, I think I remember this story, though. I have no idea how it was supposed to end or how it was supposed to go, but I think it was basically just super OP evil guy adopts young, like, adorable girl or something, and then he slowly becomes a good guy. So I think it was just one of those stories. Like, ugh. I mean, I've revised it, made a much better version of it in V3. Eventually I'll be able to put plugs to V3, but I haven't made it yet. Anyways, can you guys see that? The scientist oh wait, I just realized it's in mirror mode, so you guys can't even tell what the heck is going on. Let me turn off mirror mode. Okay, chat, so I finally fixed it, so you guys aren't gonna have to, like, look at it in mirror mode. I forgot I had that on. It's just so that whenever I'm looking at myself and recording, I'm not feeling disoriented, because I always see myself in the mirror and not just in other places. Anyways. So yeah, the scientist cleared his throat with obvious fear shaking him from the inside out. We picked up your energy source on Earth, but knew you were in your room sleeping, sir, he stuttered. There we go. And what does that mean exactly? The one obviously in charge growled. All he really wanted was for the scientist to swallow his thoughts. What does that mean? He already had an idea of what he meant, but he didn't like it one bit. Well, it could be your clone, the scientist finally mustered enough courage to say. Instead of the usual outraged response you might expect, the one in charge simply went quiet and lowered his head. Everyone in the room trembled, however. They knew when he was silent like that he was at his angriest. Oh no, the evil man angry? Oh no. I gave you all specific orders to kill the mishap years ago. Demote this man immediately. The one in charge spoke softly but ghostly, pointing at the scientist. Oh, I guess I gave you all specific orders to kill the mishap years ago. Demote this man immediately. It's probably said something more like that, you know? And then I had to have been like 16 or 17 when I wrote this, so he had just spoken too. Everyone else in there gasped, except, oops, EXCEPT. I didn't know the difference back then. You guys see that? You guys see my hilarious spelling mistake? You guys can't see crap. Can't see crap, bro. Okay, anyways. The two heavily armed soldiers who began escorting the scientist pointed to out. To, and then comma out. Okay. No, please. The one being escorted began pleading, "Please, Lord Dorndegor, I can't. What the frick did I just Dorndegor? Can you guys see that? Dorndegor. Dorndegor. No, please, Lord Dorndegor. I did nothing. I was demoted. Wait, please. I was common. It was common knowledge that whoever was demoted would have to live with a nasty scar for the rest of their life. Ew. Crappin' mafia crap here, bruh. Silence, Syra? I don't know what the frick that name is. I've never been good at coming up with names, by the way. I don't want another word from you. Like, if I get married, I'm just gonna be like, husband, please pick out the names for our children. I cannot do this. The one in charge, now known as Dorndegor. Dang it, bro. Like, the frick is that name? Answered the scientist just before the door was shut on him. Then Dorndegor turned his attention to those remaining, who quickly looked back to what they were doing with pale faces. Find Mishap 15, 27 now, Dorndegor growled, making everyone either speed up what they were doing or pull up their new windows to type into. Lord Dorndegor just stared blankly as they all worked, impatient inside for an answer. I'm so much better at writing this than I am at reading it right now. Like, I can't read this. You guys wonder why I pretty much never read books, but I'm always writing them? Because I'm better at writing than I am at reading, bro. Just check out my Candy the Writer series. Oh no, my headphones broke again. Oh, dang it. Hopefully that tape, I need to get new tape for that thing. Anyways. Earlier that day. Chapter 2. Ooh, I even did that even in paper. That's nice. You guys can't even see this. Like, what the... I think this lamp might be ruining things. Excuse me, sorry. Here, lamp, come closer. There we go. Maybe you guys can see it better now. Or if I wasn't so shady. I don't know, man. This whole setup is, like, very bad. Chapter 2. Earlier that day, slowly the sun rose above the dull horizon. The rising sun, it looks way better in person than it does on camera. Like, why is it... There we go. Maybe that'll work? I don't know, man. This camera's whack. Camera whack, bro. Okay. Slowly the sun rose above the dull horizon. Rising sun was the only thing beautiful about the sunrise, which was a fiery shade of red. I'm so good at writing, guys. Quietly, a window facing the sunrise opened. How many times am I going to mention sunrise? The one who opened the decently sized window pulled themselves out and onto the window ledge. It was a young teenage girl with long light brown hair that was a little lighter than at the tips. I'm so... Yep. We got ourselves an OC. Tumblr OC. With the tips because the exposure's sun rays and a rare shade of light brown eyes. There was even a hint of gold in those pupils that just seemed to sparkle in the sunlight. Amazing. I created a generic looking OC. The girl was wearing some overused overalls that had been cut to end just at the knees, and a dirty white t-shirt underneath. Her knees were all dirty, and she still wore some soot on her face. Slowly, the girl climbed up from the third story of the building. She had been to the roof, which was 5 stories high. She climbed up the wall using a window ledges and bricks. So, she is the clone of the really evil guy, I guess. And she's, like, gonna be his daughter, I think. I'm not entirely... I think that's where I was going with this story, is she's gonna be adopted by him or something. Sticking out. Wait. And bricks sticking out. Okay, so... It was obvious just by watching... I move the camera here, maybe? There's a stinking wire. Just by watching such a feat, I can't write. Once at the top, the girl sat on the edge of the flat roof with her legs dangling off the edge, just watching the sunrise. Looks like you showed up early this time, a teen boy said from behind, causing the girl to turn around and look at him. He was a dark-skinned individual with light, thick black hair and tacky clothing that looked a lot newer than the girl's outfit, but still a little worn. "Oh, hey, Matt," the girl smiled at him. Then she turned back to look over the heavy populated city, coated in a dark red shade, as her friend sat beside her. It's just blood, or is this the sunrise, I guess? It's probably the sunrise. It'd be funny if it was just all blood, though. Anyways, so how's life been for ya, Lila? Matt asked after a few silent moments. The usual. It's been hard, though, especially since you aren't around anymore, Lila sighed. Heh. Better than the camp, at least. You would be surprised by all the work the kids there have to do, Matt said. You were adopted. How would you know about the camp? Lila tilted her head in question. Oh my gosh, they're orphans too? I mean, fair. She is a clone and stuff. My new folks work there. They are nice people and all. Why am I reading it like this is just really bad? Okay. My new folks work there. They are nice people and all, but I can't wait to just grow up and leave. I don't want to work at the camp too, like they keep suggesting. So you know more than anyone that I want to join the secret services. The 7 secrecies. The 7 secrecies. What are the 7 secrecies? It's been my dream ever since I was 5. Matt monologued. I was very self-aware of the monologuing. Lila frowned and looked down at her lap sadly. What's wrong? I don't want to go to the camp, but if I'm not adopted, I'll have no other choice. Lila began to tear up. Just letting you guys know, whenever I was a kid, I loved role-playing that I was an orphan. Like, I literally had the best parents in the world, but I was still always role-playing as an orphan. So a lot of my older stories were centered around orphans. As you do, Disney has done the same. Yeah, but a lot of that is usually about orphans. You were adopted. And then, wait, Lila frowned, like, what's wrong? I don't want to go to the camp, but if I'm not adopted, I'll have no other choice. Lila began to tear up. Oh, dang, she doesn't want to go to, like, I don't know, freaking, I don't know, like, the Holocaust place or something. Relax, Lila. Matt placed his hand on his friend's shoulder in attempts to calm her down. You are 15. Oh, I must have been 15 when I wrote this, because I always made the main characters the same age as me, so I was 15 when I wrote this. Dang. Dang, son. Dang, son. Where is my fake? Dang, son. Okay, so you have a whole year until you have to go, he informed. But instead of the hopeful look he was looking for, instead he just saw an even sadder look on Lila's face as she looked at him. I'll be turning 16 in just a couple weeks, she whispered. I'll be turning 16 in just a couple weeks, she whispered. Okay. Turning pages is difficult. This is why I usually do digital audiobook reading, and then it's always my present fics or whatever that aren't really old, and I can't actually remember what's going on. I don't remember anything that happens. I think she gets kidnapped at some point, obviously. I really just like wrote like all those TikTok books now are, except just without the smut, basically. And it was, like, about, like, wholesome adoption and stuff. Anyways. Really? Wow. Can't believe I forgot. He forgot, bro. He's not a good friend, man. Matt said with a little worry for his friend. Then Lila couldn't hold in her own sorrows in anymore. She quickly hugged her friend and started crying. Dang! I don't want to go to camp. All the stories I've heard, they all sound terrible, she sobbed. Matt hugged back as he thought of what to say. Honestly, I was the kind of girl that I wrote whenever I was 13, 14. I wrote a World War II fan fiction that took place in the like Holocaust. So I wouldn't put it behind me to actually say that this was Holocaust inspired. I don't know though, but I did I did write stuff like that. So I don't know, man. My teacher was Jewish, so she got really emotional when it came to World War II stuff. So usually I'd also like make my stuff really emotional. Anyways, maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe it won't be so bad, was all he could think to say. After a couple minutes of quiet sniffles, Matt got an idea in mind. You know what? He grabbed Lila's attention. How about we celebrate your birthday today? There is going to be a concert tonight. Maybe I can get us a couple tickets and a few extra for friends, he suggested. Lila smiled a little and she wiped her eyes. Okay, actually, I do remember this. Okay, I'm like, the memories are slowly coming back. Not anything after this, but like not anything after what I've written. Like, I have no idea what the heck I was gonna do. That's probably why I stopped writing it. It was just because I had no idea what I was gonna do afterwards. But the scene of her getting kidnapped, I actually do remember that because I would just be hallucinating. Because I actually took inspiration from the kidnapping scene for like one of my more recent stories. So like, it's all together, man. It's all together. So that sounds like a good idea, she sniffled. I'll pre-order a +1 ticket so you can invite Anna. Matt said, glad he had been able to successfully cheer up his friend. Sure, Lila nodded in agreement. I should probably go now. It's probably almost 6. And with that, Lila crawled down the wall. People just casually be having conversations on walls, for real though. Back through the window. Once she was inside, she looked over the large room with rows of creaky beds inside. Oh, she's literally just living in an orphanage. It's hard knock life for us. Like I had another fic that actually existed where she was literally just like in a hard knock life place, and they literally started singing "It's a Hard Knock Life." Like, dang. Anyways, she slid back into bed and fell asleep right away. It was never hard for Lila to fall asleep for some reason. Me for real? Me for real? Dang, I'm trying to fix this, but it keeps getting stuck here. Like, wires. Stop doing that. I'm trying to make it easier to move my camera. And it keeps being rude. Okay. Alright. Alright, everyone, get up. We have a busy schedule today. An entire hotel this time, just down the street. A woman who looked older than she really was woke everyone up at 6:30 a.m. Everyone groaned and turned over in their beds. Oh, they're literally putting these kids to work, dang. Oh, come on! One of the more vocal children huffed in protest. Now I don't want any bad attitudes, or it's no breakfast for you, so get up and clean this room up. And hurry up for Mars' sake. Oh, oh yeah, this book. Mars is literally used as a swear word. I forgot. So everyone just like uses Mars. Like it's an insult to be a Martian. You're seen. I think it's because in the intro I mentioned that everyone tried to escape the planet. They went to Mars, and so to be called a Martian or like being said you're from Mars. Is kind of like calling someone a coward, basically. So anyways, now I don't want Isamar's sake. Then the lady slammed the door behind her, and everyone slowly rolled themselves out of bed and started cleaning the space around their bed. Lila always kept her space clean, so she just had to make her bed. Then she watched as a few girls in the corner pillow fought over blankets, and the others not too far away gossiped or whatever was on or whoever was on their mind. Since Lila was technically the oldest girl in the room. This is literally just a self-insert. Like, this is actually just a self-insert. Because, like, I'm tidy. I mean, I'm not tidy right now, but I'm usually tidy. I'm usually like, the one who's like, why are they gossiping? So, I'm so not like the other girls, guys. Please. In the room. She was always put in charge of dressing the little girls who needed help. Oh, I think around this time I was, like, helping my little sisters get dressed, because they were, like, little kids still. So that could also be a self-insert thing. Dang, that you. When Lila was done dressing the youngest girl, Emily, who was only 4, everyone pushed away, shoved their way down the stairs. The stairs weren't full circle, more like a rectangular shape going in circles all the way down to the first floor. We definitely needed this information. If you understand what I'm saying. Some boys from the room just across the hall even slid down the rails. Oh, those silly boys. Silly boys sliding, risking their lives. You could say it was absolute chaos. That pretty much the daily routine for Lila. Once everyone but the slackers were down, everyone got in line for breakfast. Lila didn't get in the pushy line, however. She never liked the slop they called breakfast. She much preferred the hot dogs people would donate to them for lunch. She usually just stocked up on those. shoving any extra she could get in her get in her hands into her large overall pockets, and would then snack on those for the rest of the day. Matt had taught her that trick when she was only 6. And he was only 7. Thing. Ground. 2 tubs of ground. 2 tubes of ground sausage. What does this mean? I think sometimes I think it's a shopping list thing. I don't know, man. How much more of this is there? I think she gets jumped at one point. Yeah, chapter 3. Then, like, gosh darn, why is this actually so long? Okay, it stops. Okay. So it ends here. Finally, it's so much. Like, I don't think I'm gonna actually read all this. I'll finish chapter 2 at least. But yeah, that's a lot of words. I was not expecting it to be so long. This is the kind of thing that I used to write a lot. This is whenever I had Wattpad. It was fairly new to Wattpad. I used to write on it so much that my mom made it a rule to not take my tablet with me and like stop writing on it, tablet rules. You can only be on your tablet for like 1 hour a day kind of thing. So I started writing on paper, and this is like the product of that, just a lot of writing on paper. Anyways, let's get told by the top floors was over. Everyone marched across the street to the hotel just down the block, brooms, rags, maps, and vacuums in hand. Lila was quick to snatch the broom because last time she had been stuck with a rag, it was told to mop the floors with it. Years ago, such service from orphans wasn't so common, even looked down upon. But with such a shaken and battered world, the points of view had been changed. And orphans everywhere were just seen as free labor. Dang it, bro. Free labor. Where was I? Only paid in hot dogs once a day by those who still cared. It's a hard knock life for real. Lila swept for hours. Everyone cleaned that hotel from top to bottom. They finally finished just in time for a late lunch. Many kinds of foods had actually been banned by the people several hundred years ago, such as certain meats because the inhumane treatment and actions. But those things were just eye rollers, and people simply processed meat in secrecy. But it was an interesting factoid Lila told a few younger kids as they ate the illegal food. This is a one where vegans took over, guys. This is the one where vegans took over. After the late lunch, everyone old enough was allowed some free time until dinner, which included Lila. She's the dinner? Dang. She was happy to learn to leave the crowd always. Like, okay, this is kind of boring, let's be honest. Like, Lila strolled down the street, took a right when she right, and then she left, and then she right. In their opinion, the perfect street in the city. Large old trees dropped green leaves on the road and blocked most of the sidewalk from the evil orphanage rays of evil orange rays of sunlight. The orphanage. The street lamps were off, but at night they glowed beautifully. And the houses were all in older style, none of which looked like another. All of them were even painted a different color. And Anna's was the light blue house. Oh, she has a friend who's like not an orphan. Forgot about that. Lila was so excited to talk to her old friend again. She hadn't talked to her since last Tuesday. So, I was also in school where, like, every school day was, it was a co-op, like a homeschool co-op where we'd all meet up every Tuesday. So, and that was to, like, discuss, like, schoolwork and homework and stuff like that. So, literally me, so just one day more than a full week. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, being away from your friends for more than a week. Dang, imagine being an adult now. Dang, adult, you just don't see your friends for like a year. Anyways, Anna had never been an orphan like Matt, though. She had the perfect little life inside the perfect little house. Anna always had impossibly perfectly long, curly blonde hair. I don't know what it is, but there's always that one really pretty girl in my stories where she's always like drop dead gorgeous, and she's just like, and like the main character just can't do anything about it. Like, probably just because I have a friend like that, but it's still just kind of funny to see, like, even in the fan, I was just, like, deliriously writing some sort of fan fiction just because I was bored at, like, 2 a.m., and, like, I wrote this whole thing where there was this, like, side character who, she just becomes the main character's friend, but she's, like, drop-dead gorgeous. It's always, like, the friend is drop-dead gorgeous, and the main character's just, like, I'm okay looking, I guess. Blonde hair, loved wearing pretty Sunday dresses. Her posture always said princess, but she had amazing humor that was hard to find anywhere else. Sorry, I'm really bad at controlling this camera, bro. Once Lila saw the light blue house, she quickly ran across the street towards it, passing by a new store in front yard with a pink rose in front of it. Oh, I put the paragraphs together. That was an accident by my part. Oh, making fun of my 15-year-old self. You messed up, brother. Once she was at the door, Lila knocked several times and stood there impatiently for an answer. No answer came. She knocked again, that time in a secret code the two had made up so they would know who was at the door. Still no answer. Finally, Lila took notice that the red car that was usually on the driveway wasn't there. So Lila stepped back, wondering if Anna had left. But she rarely ever left the house, only every now and then for appointments. Oh my gosh, I know I know what happened, bro. Her friend freaking died of cancer. Knowing myself, I did that, bro. I literally made her best friend die of cancer. No way. No. This happens again in one of my more recent stories. So I completely forgot I'd already done this. So yeah, one of my more recent, like, my webtoon that I'm currently working on, the main character had a childhood friend who died of cancer, and I guess, and they were pretty much the same character too, all, like, pretty frilly dresses and stuff, and so, I just kill off a lot of characters, man, like, man. Switching hands, because this one tired. So Lila slowly began walking away, deciding in her head to come visit tomorrow instead. But then the shining pink rose caught her eye. When she turned right to look at it, she noticed that it was made of glass. So she decided to look at this new thing more closely. Let's see if she actually died of cancer. Her friend actually, like, let's just see, man. Probably, knowing myself, she probably did. Oh my gosh, she did! She died! She gosh freaking died! No way! For some reason, as Lila was walking over to face the rose, okay, blah blah blah, we know Anna Grace Westland, she hardly even heard the words leave her lips, yet she still didn't understand this. So she read what was beneath it. 3002 to 3015. Oh my gosh. Lila then felt her whole body stiffen. She knew what this was now, but she couldn't believe it. No. Lila whispered, I'm so predictable, guys. Like, if you ever think that my stories are unpredictable and crazy, no, they are not. No, they are freaking not. They are so predictable. You just need to, like, go back to my older stories. You just need to, like, pick up on the patterns, which is best friend who's pretty will most likely die. Like in more recent stories that doesn't happen, but most of the time, best friend who's pretty always dies. I forgot about that detail because yeah, in the other story, the best friend who's pretty also died, and in the one I'm writing most recently, she doesn't die, but same premise, you know, pretty close. It's born from the same trope that I have in my head, bro. But yeah, my stuff is really like, if anyone tries to say, oh my gosh, Candy's books are so unpredictable, no, they are not. Okay. Then, in the most convenient of all timing, that familiar red car drove into the driveway, and she watched as Anna's parents stepped out with sad expressions, and their outfits were both entirely black. Dang, they just came back from the funeral? Delilah felt a little anger bubble up inside her as she thought of the right words to say. What happened to her? Delilah demanded with a red face and tears swelling in her eyes as she looked at the other two adults. Where's Anna? The parents looked both shocked and sad as they looked back at Lila. She never told you? The mother asked. Delilah slowly shook her head. She was diagnosed. I knew it! Cancer, bro. She died of cancer at age 9. We thought she was getting better, though. The lady said, starting to get all choked up again. I think we should head inside, the man said, wrapping his arm over his wife's shoulders and leading her inside. Lila was speechless. She felt emotionless somehow. Maybe it was just that she had so many emotions going on inside that she just couldn't process them all. She wanted to, anyways, boring, confirmed this was real. She remembered that noise a couple years ago she had spent saving it to buy it. She could tell Anna was so sad but didn't know why. But she did know that Anna always loved roses. Dang. Yeah, a friend died of cancer. That's sad. If anyone's actually watching this far, then props to you, bro. Props to you, honestly. Especially pink ones. She still remembered. Anyways, this is so boring, bro. But Anna wanted to tell her greatest secret, but was just too afraid to. In anger, Lila stomped hard on that glass rose, her shoes thankfully thick enough so that the glass didn't get her feet. The stomp in the view seemed to shake their earth around her. What? Excuse me? The stomp in her view seemed to shake the earth around her, and when she lifted her foot back up, she saw nothing but shards of pink and green glass. So are her powers turning on or something? Like, is it emotion stuff? Is she gonna go mob psycho? Is she gonna go mob psycho on this? Like, what's happening? Lila pulled out a pink shard from her shoe before running back down the street she had come from. Tears obscured her vision, so she could hardly see. It is impossible. Anna has to be alive. She must just be hiding somewhere. No one can find her, Lila thought, so she ran to the place she knew Anna would be if she were hiding. The park. The park had been where the two had first met, after all. Lila had just ran out of the orphanage for some free time just before dinner. She was only 5 then, young. Why are we going to a backstory? Any stupid backstories? Bench to watch the sunset, but a little girl, even younger than her, had walked up to her with sad eyes. I am lost. Can you help me find Mommy and Daddy? Little Anna had asked, looking like she was ready to cry. Okay, what do they look like? Little Lila said. Why do I have to go into detail about their backstory? Like, just give a paragraph or like a sentence or two saying she helped her as a child find her parents, and then they became friends after that. Like, you don't have to have a whole scene, because it's so boring like that. Anyways, okay, what they look like, mommy and daddy looking, they sound nice. Let's walk to the trail. Mine is Lila. Lila asked, I'm Anna, but my mommy calls me Boogie Bear. Anna responded with another giggle. Are you lost? Anna asked after a few quiet seconds. No, I just don't have a mommy and daddy like you. Lila sighed. Do you want to be my sister? Anna had asked. Yeah, Lila responded excitedly. Then she saw a lady wearing a red shirt and a man with a big fluffy beard walking along the same trail down towards them. Mommy, daddy. Anna ran forwards, pulling Lila with her. The two parents were so glad to have their daughter back. They thanked Lila very much, but Anna and Lila never did become official sisters. How sad, excuse me, burp. Lila sat on the same bench she had so many years ago, watching the same sunset fall behind the buildings and trees in the distance. But still, no Anna. By then, Lila had calmed her crying only a little. She looked up from her hands and rested her chin on them to watch the sun. It was probably past time for dinner, and she would still have to go to that concert with or without Anna. OMG, is that the style? Is that Istal, Lila? Oh, is that T? Is that Lila? The voices she never liked hearing rang through Lila's ears. Amelia, Thompson, and Dixie. Oh my gosh. I'm so bad at coming up with names. I've never been good at it, bro. It came around the bench with unusual looks. They actually looked friendly. OMG, it is! Amelia slid onto the bench and gave Lila a tight squeeze. That shocked Lila for sure. Just last month she had been beaten to almost the point of handicapped by those three, plus a couple who weren't currently there. But either way, she didn't fight against the hug. She just didn't hug back. Not like she really could. Her arms were trapped in the hug, which made her feel vulnerable. BTW, I am so sorry about your friend. She was like the nicest girl ever. That comment just reminded Lila of the time she was getting beaten up a couple years ago, and Anna stepped in to help, which earned her a fist to the face from Amelia. Bro, Amelia is throwing hands! Amelia throwing hands! Excuse me, but what do you guys want? Lila pushed herself away from Amelia and stood up. This is honestly, anytime someone... No, never mind. Never mind. Ugh. Okay, shit, I can't read it. We just want to be nice, Amelia squeaked as she stood up. The other two just kept standing behind the bench. We thought you might want to join the squad. You would be great help, and we could all have fun together. You know, doing things you never get to. Eating ice cream. Going to the movies, Dixie added. Playing baseball. I'm so confused by this scene because this isn't how bullying works exactly. Like I don't really remember. I was bullied as a kid, but I don't remember any of it. So I'm confused as to why I thought this is what bullying was like. I don't even know, man. I guess we'll just have to keep reading and see what the heck happens. Things with a bunch more things that were a little tempting. Lila noticed them all creeping slowly in, as if herding her into the lake or something. Oh no. Eating pizza, fishing, playing chess, swimming, getting your own phone. Lila noticed she needed to take action before she was completely surrounded. Dang, they're just like very casually bullying her. I don't even know. Just the fact that she didn't just run away, bro. What do you guys want already? Lila shouted. Oh, nothing, Amelia said cutely, stepping even closer. We just want those tickets. If you have enough for all of us, then maybe we'll let you tag along. How does she even know about the tickets? I don't know. What tickets? Lila asked, fear in her brown eyes. Brown eyes? Brown eyes? The concert tickets, you Martian? Oh, yeah. Martian? Thompson snapped at her. Just give him, you piece of Mars rock. You piece of Mars rock. Yeah, I was making up my own swears here. They're just calling each other Mars and stuff. Thompson, stop swearing. Dixie corrected her friend. Not like he was going to do anything. I can say whatever I want, Dixie, Thompson grumbled. Zip it, you two. Amelia looked left and right at the two with a scowl. The two both rolled their eyes and looked back at Lila. Now give us those tickets, little girl, Amelia demanded, though she was only a year or two older than Lila. She's like, oh my gosh, she's so rude. She's so mean to our girl. My gosh. I told you already, I don't have them, Lila shouted, just before being pushed by Amelia down towards the lake. Before Lila could process the situation, her face was pushed into the water, almost hitting the slimy mud at the bottom. It was then that Lila remembered what she had learned during her last fight. Fight smarter, not just stronger. So Lila stopped struggling and blowing bubbles out of her nose. 1, 2, 3. She continued in her head. She counted in her head. Then she felt whoever it was holding her down raised her out of the water, probably worried they had just drowned her. Once her head was fully out of the water, Lila took in a few breaths and spun herself around, grabbing the ear of whoever was holding her down. It just so happened to be Thompson. Dang, the rookie, the muscle, whatever, of the group. Next up, Lila yanked on the boy's ear, causing him to fall in the lake beside her. Lila then got up almost immediately and stomped on Thompson as he struggled to get up. Amelia's fist came flying at her next, but for the first time ever, Lila caught it. She must have just had enough with these bullies, for she was angrier than she had ever been. They had gone too far. Not even beating her to the point of, like, near whatever. Okay, do we want to finish reading this? You know what? Let's just finish reading this. Like, this is an unfinished story. We're never gonna get any sequels or any finishing. So let's just read the whole thing right now. I could actually be doing something productive right now, like cleaning my room. I could be cleaning my room, but I'm not. Instead, I'm reading this. Chapter 3. What the? Amelia was shocked that Lila had just caught her punch, but she didn't have any time to react. Lila pulled on Amelia's fist, forcing her to step into the shallow lake water and spun around her. Lila kept hold of Amelia's fist and spun, following the spin with an elbow to the back of Amelia's head. She then pushed Amelia forwards onto Thompson, who had just managed to stand up. Lila had never fought those three back so well before. She was pretty pleased with herself at the moment. That moment was interrupted when Dixie tackled her into the mud. Dixie was always the pouty one when it came to getting dirty, but guess she finally decided to help. I guess we're writing a fight scene now, man. Lila scrambled under Dixie. She used the mud as an advantage and slid on the slimy surface out into the deeper water. She felt a sharp pain in her leg, and she struggled, but she would have to ignore it. Lila swam as best as someone going off in instinct she had never really learned to swim before, but luckily her instincts were pretty good. Her instincts were pretty good, I must say. She knew how to swim. Let's go. And they carried her further down the pond. When Lila climbed out of the water absolutely exhausted, she turned back to see the troubling sight of the three bullies running towards her. It was time to run. Oh no, a chase scene now. Lila jumped up, forgetting her dirt tiredness, and booked it around the pond. She ran through the woodsy part of the park, hoping she would lose these three, but she only heard their footsteps slowly getting closer and closer. She wondered how they could run so fast, but then remembered they just had larger legs than her. Wait, I have this little note from my past self. I tried thinking of other words, but that or stupid were whenever only ones that fit. Okay, Lila, you dumb orphan. Okay, so this is my little note to myself. Just give up already, Amelia shouted. It was too late to wish. They would simply grow tired. They were wet and muddy, so there was no turning back for them. And Lila wasn't really in the mood for getting beaten up. Okay, that's something I noticed with my books. Usually a paragraph will end with, and blah 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 wasn't really in the mood for, like, something. Like, that's just something I've noticed. Does that happen in other books, too? Because that's just something I've noticed in my own books. I don't really know if it's in other people's. It probably is, but mine especially, it seems to happen a lot. Hey, chat, comment if you've ever read a book. So she just decided to run to the concert. It wasn't too far. She's a little muddy and running to the concert, bro. And she could hide in the large crowd of people there, and even if three did manage to find, I just didn't see that right. The three did manage to find her, Matt would be able to protect her. He had been the top boxer in the entire district. Dang, Matt, my boy, he's so good at defending girls or whatever. My arm. Once Lila had a plan in mind, she started swerving to the direction of the concert, keeping a close eye on the large white dome roof. The scenery changed from grass and trees to concrete and buildings, but Lila kept swerving. She managed to speed up a little with all the adrenaline coursing through her, and stayed about the same distance away from the other three from that point. Almost there, just a little jog, almost there, Lila repeated in her head. Me during that marathon before I threw up. She seemed to help. It seemed to help mostly. I'm there, Lila smiled when she saw the large concert just ahead. She swerved through the cars and through the doors, slamming them behind her as she heaved in relief. Where's the part where she gets, like, adopted by the villain dude? This is so lame. Why can't she have superpowers yet? You alright, ma'am? The deep-voiced man asked from the counter. Lila collected her oxygen before nodding. Collected her oxygen? I need to use that again in one of my books. Like, blah blah blah, collected her oxygen. Before nodding. Well, the ticket booth is that way, the guy said, pointing down the hall that circled around the building. Lila gathered together her balance and began walking in the direction the man had pointed. Frickin' heck yeah. When Lila made her way to the main hall, she caught a glimpse of Matt looking a little worried through the crowd. She ran to him and gave her friend a big hug, all sweaty, soaking wet and covered in mud. But Matt didn't care and hugged back. I think I would care if I was Matt, being honest. Wait, Lila, why are you so wet and muddy? And where's Anna? Matt asked when the short hug was over. It's a long story, and I just want to go in now, Lila responded, obvious that she was serious. Okay, well, I already bought 3 tickets. I guess I'll just give the third one to a stranger. Are you sure Anna isn't coming? Matt asked again, but then he studied Lila's face as she looked at him sadly and knew she was certain. All right, let's get going. It'll be starting any minute. Then Matt put on a fake smile, hoping it would cheer his friend up. She smiled a little and followed Matt into the massive dome room lined with chairs. Dadgum. I've never really been too much of a person to like set up a scene when it comes to like the building was blah 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 height and blah blah weight and blah 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 blah. Like I don't really do that. Chat, comment if you read. Okay. Lila loved music. It helped her forget about the problems all around her, even if just for a moment. Unfortunately, there is no music in the orphanage, and she didn't have a phone or anything to listen to music on either. The only time when she could hear music was when someone driving by had their volume turned to the max. See, that's why people actually drive with, like, super big volume. It's so the little orphans, the little poor orphans can, like, listen to just a little morsel of music. The only time when she can listen to, like, okay, or the occasional parade, but this was different. This, for a dystopian world, this doesn't feel very dystopian, let's be honest. It doesn't feel very, if they're having parades and if dudes are able to turn up their music to the max, this doesn't sound very dystopian. Something she had only dreamed of going to. Not even Matt knew how happy he had just made his friend. When the two sat down, she was even shaking a little in her seat with excitement. See, this is where it's not like me, because I don't like concerts, so this is a not me moment. I'm not like this girl. The concert started and Lila couldn't not have this love the songs. It was one of the, why did my handwriting suddenly get so bad? My handwriting is very inconsistent. Okay, it was one of those cultural immersion nights, so there was music of all kinds being played by people all over the world. The cities had special funds just so the musicians could make it there, and because of that, the concert was packed. Only 1 or 2 seats untaken, and Lila loved every song so far. So I've always been interested in music, cultural music. I see. Everyone was dancing to maybe the 5th song, which was upbeat and exactly what Lila needed. Then, the inciting incident finally happens. 54 minutes into the book, no less. When suddenly there was an interruption. First, all the lights went out, causing several to stumble or scream. This is the scene, by the way, that I have repurposed into another book. It'll probably be years before that actually comes to fruition, but keep this in mind now. Eventually, whenever you see that scene, you'll be like, oh, I recognize that. I literally just stole this scene because I was like, it's mine. It's mine. Kidnapping, yes. Anyways. There was an interruption. First, all the lights went out, causing several to stumble and scream. Second, there was a grinding sound coming from the center of the room. Third, a chunk of the ceiling was pulled up so that the dull moon light beamed down onto the stage. Fourth, wait, actually, this whole book is kind of just like the original. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Okay. There is a, it's a, what's am I gonna do? Okay, this is, what I'm talking about, what, like, my recent story is, hi. The recent story that I am, talking about is, hi. Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
Are you filming in here?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're on camera.
Hey, cuties.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. So the book that this scene eventually does inspired, like pretty much the whole book kind of inspired it, except that was a romance, sort of, but yeah. Anyways. But it didn't have orphans. She's just, the main character is just some bratty college kid, but he gets humbled. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, chat. Second, there was a grinding sound coming from the center of the room. Third, a chunk of the ceiling was pulled up, so the drop on everyone, the face and the earth, like least of all. Wait. And the one everyone on the face of the earth liked least of all dropped down onto the stage. Like, I'll just not even say, like, I forgot what the name of that story was gonna be, but it's the sequel of another book that I haven't even started yet, so just goes to show I plan things way ahead of time, so I already planned out the whole sequel to a book that I haven't even started yet, and I was able to do so easily because this thing, I forgot it was, but now that I'm remembering it, I'm like, oh yeah. Basically just the same thing. I'm just always copywriting myself. Oh no, it's Drawn. So Drawn, bro. It's Drawn. Someone in the audience screamed before fainting for some reason. Everyone else either murmured or booed the interruption, but once Lord Drawn raised his hand to silence them, the crowd went dead quiet. Whoa. Drawn, or wait, I think I might have imagined this because I hated being at a concert so much. I imagined, like, okay, what if some, like, alien guy just, like, stopped this whole thing and, like, took me away from here? Like, I think that's probably where the story originated. I was just like, I hate this loud concert. I wish some random alien guy could just, like, kidnap me out of this place and, like, adopt me. I think that's what, I think that's, knowing myself, that's probably what started this. Drawn, or Drondagor, was wearing his familiar battle armor, which was made out of solid graphene. Oh yeah, because I'm also a nerd. I liked graphene using science. Its colors were gray, black, and dark shade of red. The only parts of him not covered in the high-tech armor were his arms, just above the elbows down to his wrist, because his hands were covered in just the inner version of the arm. Guys, can a girl get a little bit, like, autistic when it comes to, like, sci-fi armor? Comment in the chat if you read. I am not here to kill anyone, Drawn said to everyone in the audience. But if you do not cooperate, you will all die, he threatened. Everyone knew he wasn't bluffing. What do you want? A voice near the stage asked shakily. What do you want? I am looking for a very specific person. I do not know what they look like exactly, but I know that they are here. My guards have blocked off the doors. Try to escape and you will be executed. No one dared comment to that. To make things easier for you all, let's just file down the contendants. You make people fight each other. Oh, anyway, excuse me. Everyone with brown hair, brown eyes, come up to the stage. Yeah, this is self-insert, bro. I just have brown hair. My eyes are kind of greenish now, but, like, because I don't, like, eat good vitamin stuff. But anyways, everything about Drawn was solid, emotionless, unfazed. His expressions alone told everyone he was incredible, invincible. And like he had ordered, people were brought up to the stage. including Lila, who started to resist on the way up there. Bro, if it actually was the case and if it was like normal America or something, everyone would be brought up to the stage, bro. Like everyone. He'd be like, oh, there's like 1,000 people on stage. Okay, everyone with like eyes. Anyways, but Matt was by her the whole time. Matt, I need to go. I don't want to possibly die. Oh no. She's gonna die, chat. She's gonna die. Eraser. No. She began stepping back, but Matt grabbed her wrist before she could leave. Didn't you hear? He'll kill you if you resist his orders. It is best that you go up there. You'll be eliminated. I can't look at I can't really read. Okay, right away, because I know you have done nothing wrong. He's probably just looking for a spy or something, Matt said. I'll be with you the whole time, so there's no need to worry. Lila smiled a little and forgot to worry. Once all the people Drawn had requested for, along with a few friends of theirs. People can just bring their friends on stage? Okay. Drawn continued. Alright, I need everyone aged 15 to 16 up here. He gave his next order. Lila's eyes widened. She was 15, almost 16. Whoa! That's crazy, dude. People started going up on stage, a few fighting, the ones escorting them a little, and Lila just stayed put. Matt didn't argue with her that time. He didn't like the idea of her being up on stage with the worst, most untrustable man in history. He's so evil, guys. He's so evil. Hey, miss, you sure you're not 15 or 16? A bald man with a dark brown eyes and tattoos all over him asked Lila. No, I'm only 14, Lila answered with a little girl voice. I'm only 14. Close enough, the man said before stepping close and with one arm pushing her away from Matt towards the stage. Others saw him do so and guided her the rest way a lot nicer than the first guy. Matt tried, frick you, bald man. Matt tried to follow, but others stopped him, however, so he could only watch as his best friend climbed up onto the stage. Lila was shaking in the stressful situation, being up on stage with a bunch of others and the most feared man on the planet. Daggum, did you know that he's your father, actually? Sort of. You're his clone. Dadgum. Drawn just watched as everyone climbed aboard the stage, scanning each and every person. Eventually, he spoke. Everybody... Oh, wait, actually, I remember. The story that I was mentioning that this is played off of, I don't think the kidnapping actually happens, but I allude to it. So, this scene doesn't actually happen in the newer book, but I, make a reference to it, is what I was meaning. It's I took inspiration from this scene, but I didn't, copy it exactly or something, Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 my little hand. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, John just watches everyone, everybody line up, he ordered everyone, including Lila. Everyone on stage silently shuffled themselves into the a rigid line, dang. Each and every face was worried. Lila kept herself at the end of the line, near the stage. Matt managed to push through the thick crowd in order to stand somewhat near Lila. Drawn quickly looked left to right, scanning the group of teens, before placing a finger to his ear and speaking quietly. What if Lila had just dyed her hair? She could have had like lime green hair and been actually I'm not someone he's looking for. I'm too woke for that. So now was it a boy or a girl that we're looking for? He got a silent answer back through the earpiece, and again focused on the line of kids. All boys are free to go. Bro! Dang you, man, dang you! All the guys exhaled in relief and made no haste in leaving the stage, and all the girls had to scooch in closer to fill in those spaces. Lila became twice as worried then. Her fists closed by tension filled themselves with sweat, and her throat felt like it was clogging up. Stop writing like this, man. You don't need to write every single sentence like that. Anyways, next up, Drawn interrupted Lila's moment of half panic. I think it would just be considered full panic, but oh, whatever. Everyone in the line, step forward if you were both born and raised around here. Several girls took a slow step forward, some looking more confident than others. Even Lila stepped forwards. She didn't know exactly where she had been born, but she didn't know that she lived in that but she did know that she lived in that same orphanage as long as she could remember. The girls who didn't step forward snuck away and off the stage. There were only about 30 people left on stage. Drawn just looked over the bunch as if disappointed, having expected better options in some case. Bro, just look for yourself, but female. It ain't that hard. Bro has facial blindness, like me. Alright. Those with a natural trouble magnet step forward. A natural trouble magnet? Is that actually no way. John said, Phew, Lila was always more of the background character, never really wanting to disobey the rules, so she was in the clear, at least so she thought. Right as Lila and those who hadn't stepped forward, right as Lila and those who hadn't stepped forwards, which was almost everyone except 5 or 6, they were stopped when Drawn spoke again. Now everyone who stepped forwards can leave. Lila froze solid. She thought it was done for her. The hope that she could leave and put that moment behind her was so ruthlessly snatched away from her. And the whole time, Drawn just watched everyone's reactions, as if that would help him find the spy somehow. Oh no, she's like a spy, bro. You, step forward. Drawn suddenly pointed. Lila froze with the sweat running down her back, being the only thing that moved. But then she breathed again when she saw he was pointing at another girl, the same who had been fighting against her escorts earlier. The major difference between her and Lila was that she was a bit more muscular and wore glasses. Oh my gosh, it's me. She wore glasses. And you, Drawn pointed again, that time directly at Lila. Step forward, he demanded in a terrifying tone. Oh my gosh, this is... It just ends, bro? It just ends? With shaky footing, Lila stepped forward. Then Drawn walked up closer, first to the other girl, who was trying her best not to look afraid. What's your name? He asked the girl with glasses bluntly. Evie said, it literally is a self-insert. I knew it. Okay, there are stories where it's like stuff, and then I literally just have my own self-insert, like, you can't say the main character voice, you can't say the. So this is, by the way, my name is Evie, but it's not spelled this way. Usually, whenever I self-insert, I have my name, but it's just spelled differently. It's Evie, sir. Her voice alone gave away how terrified she really was. Drop down and give me 20. I remember writing this. At least I remember visualizing it in my head and being like, bro, it'd be so funny if this. What? The other girl questioned. No, he turned his statement to a threat-filled demand. The girl quickly, as told, dropped down, soldier style, and began doing fast but proper push-ups. Lila was even a little impressed. However, Drawn wasn't. After the girl did a few push-ups, the unforgiving overlord placed his metal-coated foot on her back and even slowly began putting weight on it. The other girl could only do 1 or 2 more before completely collapsing, out of breath. Meanwhile, the whole crowd just watched, full of curiosity about what exactly was going on. Wait, let me end this off by seeing if I could do 20 push-ups. Okay. I'm not going to show myself doing 20 push-ups, so you're just going to have to, like, hear me, I guess. Let's just see. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I don't even know where to do push-ups, bro. I don't have much room down here. I'll figure it out, though. I'll figure it out. Okay. Let me see if I can do 20. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay, yeah, I guess I can do 20 push-ups anyways. So, that was the book that I wrote when I was like 15. My arms, jeez. Okay, I can probably... Bro, I need to read the Magnolia one next. This whole day is, like, I was supposed to do so many more productive things. Nope, no productivity today. Anyways, bye-bye.